Hi guys! For the 12th and final day of my 12 Days of Christmas, we'll be working on this Opalescent Drip Marble. I know the colors don't appear very Christmassy, but this was inspired by another of my Christmas ornaments, which I'll be showing you at the end of the video. So if you'd like to see how I did this, just stay tuned. The decals need plenty of time to dry, so I've actually still got my reciprocal gradient on while I'm getting these started. The colors that I'm going to be using are all from Sinful colors. This is Sheer Flight. The purple is Flight to Sea. And the blue is Prized Plume. And then for the black, I'm just going to be using Sinful Black on Black. I'm going to be working on a plastic lid. And before I get started with the decals, I usually would just make sure and swipe it all down with some polish remover, just to make sure that there aren't any remnants from previous decals on there still. You don't want to get everything done and peel it up and have some other weird color accidentally sticking on there. But I'm just going to start out with a series of dots. I'm going to alternate the black in between each color. Before I get started on my base coat or anything, I'm going to go ahead and peel up my decals. And these have had, I'm going to say about 9, almost 10 hours to dry. And I'm just getting the edge started with a tweezer and then slowly pulling up. And I've got a couple of these that have some edges that were a little thicker than the rest of the decal. So in those places I'm being a little bit more cautious. Like, not sure how well it shows on camera, but this whole kind of lower edge here is on the thicker side. And you can also maybe see some of the writing on the lid is showing through. So those are areas that I'll just need to kind of be careful with to avoid when I'm cutting my decals. See right here, this is already sticking to my tweezers, so I'm going to be very mindful of that lower edge as I'm peeling here. But actually that didn't go too bad. I lost a little of the top, but the decals are nice and flexible and kind of sticky, and I'm just going to peel them all up and then use a scissors to cut them into nail-shaped pieces. And I hope the opalescence is coming across on camera. I'm just going to pick areas that I like when I'm cutting out the pieces. I did also want to mention, in addition to the pattern on the top of the decal, Most of them will also have a usable design on the back if you prefer it, but in most cases I'm going to be using the design that I saw as I was doing the marbling. So I have all my pieces cut and ready, and you don't have to be quite as OCD about it as I do. I have mine basically arranged in the order I'm going to be applying them. But really all you need to do is make sure you have enough pieces for all your nails. Now on clean dry nails, I'm going to be applying my base coat. I'm using Ready for Takeoff, which is a peel-off base, and you can use whichever is your personal favorite. For my base color, I'm going to be using Sinful Colors Black on Black, and that will just prevent any naked nail showing through, any thin places in the decals. Alright, these are mostly dry, still slightly tacky, and since the decals are also fresh, I'm just going to go ahead and try and stick them on here without any additional clear polish to adhere them. And yeah, they're going on there pretty good. So I'm going to see if I can trim these with my little nail tool here, or if they're too thick. And yeah, that's actually cutting them pretty good. The edge of this is pretty sharp. So I'm going to use that around the sides, and around the tip I'm going to be trimming with my cuticle nippers. And once I have these all applied and trimmed, then I will go back and clean up with a little bit of polish remover. And finally, I'll be finishing off with a top coat, and as usual, I'm using Seche Vite. So here's the finished manicure, and I think this is my favorite of the whole series. It definitely has some close competition with like the blue and silver hollow water marble or the icy French tips, but this one just kind of pushes all my buttons. It's dark, it's swirly, it's got some purple in there, and most of all, it turned out exactly how I was picturing it, and nearly exactly like the ornament. I know I said yesterday that the rippled chrome was the most accurate recreation, but I'll show you here the opalescent beaded garland that was the inspiration for this look, and I think you can maybe get a better view of it with a darker background here. So yeah, I just love this. I love the garland, I love the nails, I loved doing this series, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it too. Out of the 12 designs, 8 of them were inspired by ornaments, which I kind of decided on a whim, but it really turned out to be a fun prompt to use. And now that I'm done with this, of course, I'll have a couple of designs coming for New Year's, and then lots of good stuff planned for 2017, including, of course, I believe this is the 6th year that I'll be doing Water Marble March. So be sure to subscribe if you're not already so that you can get notifications for all of that. I'd love to hear down in the comments which was your favorite from this series. And if you missed any, all 12 days are linked down in the information box. So I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you all have a safe and happy holidays. And as always, thanks for watching.